So back in 2010, when I made the big leap from moving away from incandescent Christmas light strands and going over to LED, of course, one of the biggest things I wanted to do is I wanted the more heavy duty, more robust Christmas light strands in LED. So I started wandering around, and this was even back in the time where a lot of the websites that are available today really didn't exist. And this is back in 2010. So looking around at the time, there was really nothing available to the average consumer. I mean, there was a lot of Christmas light places out there, but they were only dedicated to businesses. So even if you did want a Christmas lights from them professional places, you pretty much had to have a business license or some kind of document where you could state that you're a business. So, of course, the average consumer is going to be left out in the cold. But there was one place that was selling commercial strands back in 2010, and it was 1,000 bulbs. So back in 2010, they had a brand like this. Now these are Diogens, and these are a pro-grade type of Christmas light strands, and they're adapted to be special use, where if you need a lot of lights going out in 100 different directions, this is the brand you want. And it's also, now that it's 2023, there's also another place that has a similar setup to this, where it's got like an octopus junction box where you can have lights going out in all directions for unique lighting displays, and then you got your T's and your Y's and your extensions and your adapters and stuff like that. So lights like these were unique in amongst themselves, where you could buy all these strings. These are strings of 50, and that's as long as they would come. But these guys, you had to also purchase the additional plug-in adapter, because all these things are connected via a male and a female barrel plug, kind of like what I'm going to unscrew here. So that was your connector. So obviously, if you bought lights like this, yeah, you ain't plugging them in your wall and stuff like that. So these are full wave rectified. They got the pimple on the wire, so they're full rectified. So you had to have this purchase this additional adapter, and then all these things screw in, and they can only go in one way. And then they were O-ring sealed, and you tightened all these up to go string to string, and even on the other end, you would just continue on or terminate with a cap. So that was the only thing that was available at the time, was these, and then the other pro grade, which was more common to most people, the regular plug-in type and stuff like that. So these are still are in use today, and these are, like I said, dated 2010. They still work. And all the sets that I've bought, I didn't buy a lot of them because I wasn't really too crazy on this particular one. So I only use these for unique thing, small stuff. But 2010, it's 2023. They still work. Every single lamp, every single LED still works. And I got a couple of sets of these things. So just to demonstrate something from 2010, and that's when I bought them, and that's when they were made, and they still work. But that's not what this video is about. We're going to do the flicker test. And we're going to do the flicker test of 2 other sets of lights that I've got. And one just come in today. So we're going to do the flicker test, and we're going to increase the shutter speed of the camera. And the shutter speed of the camera will uncover the hidden flicker of all these LED strings. So I'm going to start the camera off at 1/170, which was the starting flicker shutter rate that I got for True Tones. So we're going to start off at that. So I'm going to increase the shutter speed to 170. And for your photographers and videographers, you know what 1/170 means. So that's the shutter speed that I got at when I started getting the rolling shutter effect on the True Tones. But we're not getting that with these yet. So now we're going to start increasing the shutter speed until we get the rolling shutter effect. So I'm at 200 now. And I think I can just barely see it in the field monitor that I got. But clearly at 260, 1/260, even I can see it on the monitor now, real defined. I can see and you can see it too. So it took a little faster shutter speed to collect the rolling shutter on a full wave rectified Christmas light stand from 2010. So we'll just we'll max the shutter speed out so you can clearly see the rolling effect. And that just shows you the flicker through the amazing science of the frequency these are running on and the shutter speed, how it captures the flicker. Just shows you that even full wave rectified light strings they still have a little flicker in them. And depending on, probably, you could do it scientifically where, depending on what the shutter is, probably you can figure out if these are a little bit better for those people who are really sensitive to that than the people are not. To me, I'm not sensitive to it. Even something like on my peripheral vision, I don't see the flicker on it. I mean, I probably can see it, doing this type of motion. But even at that, I really don't see it. But my psychological neurons are they don't really pick up on that. So some do. I mean, some people are really sensitive to it. So being that them sets were only 50 in the string, I went to the next place on 1000 Bulbs, and they got Christmas Light Company, and these are your more traditional stringers, end-to-end stackable plugs, full wave rectified, in a series of 70 commercial grade. And these are also my oldest sets that still work today. So 2010, 2023, most likely they're going to last a lot longer because I care for them. I put them away properly. I don't abuse them. I don't beat them up and stuff like that. I roll them up in a real loose loop, about, I don't know, maybe 2 foot around, and I put them in a box. I don't put any kind of separating paper on them, as long as I can find the plug and just pull it out of the box. So probably one reason why mine last so long, because you take care of them. So these are 2010, the oldest working sets. They still work. All the sets that I have bought, they all worked 100%. There's not even a single LED out on them. And these are just like the other Diogens. These are fully sealed, so there's nothing to pull apart. The weather can't get in. They can't get in from the underside. They can't get in through the so-called gap of the socket in the socket holder. They can't go in from the side. They're 100% sealed. So even being in a damp location, they won't go to hell on you, like the stuff with the wires on it, like the traditional lights, and the still made today, the LED lights that mimic the removable bulb. They're open to moisture and corrosion, so they go to hell. The wires break, and then you get a failure mid-season. So, Christmas Light Company. I just showed you the Diogen. These are a Christmas Light Company, probably made in the same factory under a different name, blah blah blah. But they're 2010. We're going to do the rolling shutter effect to see if they flicker too. So we'll advance the shutter speed to 170, where I would get the rolling shutter with the true tones, and I don't see it in the monitor picture. So we'll keep going up. Yep, there it is. So a little bit higher than normal. I'm at 200, so 1/200 shutter speed. That's when I get the rolling shutter of flicker. So that's that, and then we'll just max it out to give you the dramatic effect. Look at that nice black bar going up the screen. Here comes the other one. Nice. Because even with the rolling shutter of LEDs, if you notice the incandescents, they don't play along. They still shine bright even through the black bar. So that is 2010 of a different company, and now we got a brand new set in through a new place I want to do a little bit of business with. So these are lights from Pro Christmas, and this is from Christmas Designers. So being that YouTube is a bunch of dicks now, they won't let you post links anymore. So whatever I say, you gotta go type it in and get the correct spelling, because YouTube's cracking down on links, and I can't post links to certain places, probably any place other than YouTube sites. So that's just the way it is for those people who want to know why I don't do a lot of description type stuff. That's the reason why. You just can't do it anymore. You can't have any more fun. So these are made this year. So I'm at the final days of December, so it's December 28th, and these were made in February of 2023. So they're only a couple of months old, but does the big generation gap between 2010 and 2023 make any difference with the flicker effect and rolling shutter? So we call it the rolling shutter flicker effect. So if they got flicker and the rolling shutter picks it up, we know that they're not going to be any different than anything else. So plug these in. Of course, offhand, they look all nice and pretty. Red and white. These are the T5s. So they look like they're supposed to make the envelope looks like a traditional incandescent, but since the diode is so deep down, doesn't really look like a traditional light. Far away it does, but up close, clearly LED. So these are full wave rectified. We're going to increase the shutter rate to see if they flicker. So we'll start off at 170 as a baseline. I don't see it, and yeah. So we're going to go up one. I see a little bit of banding in the frame. Definitely at 260, you can start seeing the rolling shutter of the black line going up. So even all them years later, they still haven't figured out how to get the flicker out of them. But it doesn't pay to benefit the few that are sensitive to it than the majority who are not affected by it. And that's just the way it is. And for those who want to run them on DC, I mean, you can. I've already proven it. The problem is the cost of building such a contraption to run these things off a DC current on a consistent basis. It's just not, it's not economical, and that's just the way it is. So, of course, on DC power, none of these sets will flicker. So here's my DC power bank, you might as well say, for testing. So we're gonna full bore the camera out. So we're maxed right out on shutter speed, and there's no banding. So in my other video there, when I took apart that one wintergreen C7 in my True Tone video, it had all them circuitries, that 3 resistors and that rectifier bridge in them, and I mentioned that there was no capacitor across of them. Well, my C9s, since they got a little bit more room in them, they actually put a capacitor in them. No change though. It still flickers where the shutter speed picks it up. So no change, even with a each lamp having its own capacitor in it. They still have the rolling shutter flicker effect. So here are the Christmas Light Company on DC power. No rolling shutter. Just steady light, just like an incandescent. And then our diogens here. So Christmas Designers is the other place that has these, not this particular type of plug. I think your plug's a little different. Looks almost similar, but I think it's a little different. They're the only other place that I know of that has this unique type of system of connection. And that has a polarized plug. where them don't have it. So we'll have to unplug them, which are nice and warm. You don't get that with LEDs. You don't get the nice warm strands. So Diogens full wave rectified on DC power. They have the rolling shutter on AC. So we'll crank the camera here on shutter speed. Maxed out. No rolling shutter. So it just shows you that the even throughout all the years, they still have made no leaps of taking the flicker out of LED strands. So some strands, some people are really sensitive to, and some strands, people who are really sensitive to, can sort of tolerate them, and that's just the way how they were made, how they're constructed, how well they are rectified and stuff like that. So another fun little video of AC versus DC and 2010 versus 2023 full wave rectified on AC versus DC and the rolling shutter effect. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.